Welcome to Legendary Drops. My name is Ian. I've been playing Diablo IV every single day when I get off of work. It's the one thing that I'm always looking forward to. However, it's time for a wake-up call. Since Diablo's early access release, I really haven't made a whole lot of YouTube content. Just been busy with work and also playing the game. I've actually been streaming on Twitch most of the time. Link down in the description below. But one of the things that I have been doing is I've been consuming a lot of YouTube content. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, probably just the same as you, whether it's build guides, news, or just other people's opinions. And one of the things that I'm seeing quite a lot of is a lot of people that have pretty significant concerns about Diablo. They have a lot of problems with Diablo IV. And a lot of the stuff I just felt really disconnected from, because with the rate that I'm playing the game, I think I'm level 60 today, I felt like I was going hard, but these guys have been blasting it. They've been playing it 24 hours a day. And it felt like their concerns just weren't my concerns, or they just weren't things that I'm seeing wrong in the game, but they're seeing it. And I realized that, yeah, these guys are higher level, so they're probably going to be seeing some things, but it's also the rate in which they're playing as well. They're sitting there playing it for 10, 12, 20, 24 hours a day. You're going to have a different reaction to that. And one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to make a video looking at some of those concerns and then also trying to give my perspective as just an average player.
This will probably be the end of the saga, the final video about this topic. Unless something else crazy happens, it's over.
One of the things we have to keep in mind is that there's always going to be a little bit of whiplash between when a game is being released and when that game is finally released. That hype train that we get to ride up into the point of release is probably some of the best time and the most enjoyable time that we actually get in gaming outside of the first couple weeks of that game's actual release. So expectations have been absurdly high for Diablo IV, and I'm going to tell you right now, I've said the same thing on this channel. I have also been hyping the game up to absurd proportions. And for the most part, this game actually has delivered on just about everything. But as we play the game and as we engage with it more and we learn more about its systems and how everything interacts, we're always going to find things that are different. Always find things that may rub us the wrong way because, to be honest with you, from the developer standpoint, they don't know how we're going to interact with this stuff until they actually have it in the hands of the general public. Yes, you can have testers, you can have beta testers, but none of that stuff matters until the actual players get it, because one, we are the best at breaking games, but then two, on top of that, they just don't know how the mass public is really going to enjoy it or not enjoy it when it comes to some of the systems that involve Diablo IV. Which brings me to the first and most obvious topic, which is progression. And this is the one thing that I've seen pretty much talked about by everybody on YouTube and also on Twitch. And to be honest with you, as somebody that's only been able to play 1 to 3 hours a day after work, I don't really notice it. My rogue has always felt strong. I always feel like I'm getting stronger. At this point, I'm level 60 in the game, and I'm absolutely blasting everything. Mind you, I did try to go do my level 70 capstone dungeon a little bit too early, and I kind of got my teeth knocked in. But outside of that, that just felt like I was too weak because I didn't have either enough HP or not enough armor or whatever it might be. But my damage was also really good, and I've never really felt weak the entire time I've been playing the game. Now, mind you, I realize that that's probably different for people that are playing different classes in the game, and also the speed in which they're playing the game and how long they're sitting down and playing it. But I would imagine, similar to me, that if people had even less time with the game, they really wouldn't notice just how progression may or may not feel off. Maybe it does need to get sped up. I feel like once the game's been out for a little bit longer, more of the general public has the chance to actually engage with this, then maybe you're going to probably start to see a larger outcry for it. But for the most part, as it is for me, it really hasn't seemed like that much of an issue. Now, when I get into the end game, then maybe that's when this is going to become a problem. When I really engage with some of the end game systems far more than I have. I've only really done like a handful of nightmare dungeons, some hell tides and things like that, but for the most part, the game has felt just fine. Now, the one thing that I will say is that I do feel like gear specifically does feel off.
Dude, what the hell is he keeping in this bucket?
We love ARPGs because we love killing hordes and hordes of monsters, but more than that, we love ARPGs because we love living in our fantasy casino. We love that moment. We love that dopamine hit when an item drops and it is so transformative that we sit back and go, oh shit, I'm about to be busted.
Yeah, boy.
That doesn't really exist in this game, at least not from what I've seen so far up to level 60. The only thing that I've had that I felt that is transformative is I got the Twisting Blades affix, which actually visually looks transformative. And I feel like that's one of the things that's really missing from Diablo 4 is that the average player doesn't care about stats. None of us do. I don't care about looking at the numbers. I don't even care about what number priority or stat priority I should actually even have. I want to see does it look cool and does it feel cool? Because that's really all the average player cares about. And that's one of the things that's really missing from this game, and I wish they had more of. I've picked up a couple of the uniques, but to be honest with you, the uniques feel even less transformative than the Twisting Blades affix that I had found earlier in one of the dungeons. I'm really hoping that in the future, especially with a lot of the expansions and also the seasons that they're going to be adding into the game, that we're going to be able to find more transformative things that are going to actually feel impactful to our gameplay. But as it stands right now, because this game is just all numbers, it just doesn't feel like there's really anything big happening with my character. Yes, I feel strong. No, I'm not having any problem with any of the content. However, my character doesn't look that much more cool than when they started. They don't feel that much more cool than when they started. And I feel like that's the thing that's really making a lot of players feel like the progression itself feels hollow. One of the things that I definitely will agree with most people on is that after a while playing the game, a lot of the things start to feel samey. And to be honest with you, I didn't actually notice this at first. Not until I actually saw a couple content creators talking about it. And this is actually to the benefit of Diablo 4 because the combat just feels so damn good. The classes are so well designed. All the moves feel awesome. So you kind of just don't even care. You're just enjoying killing things. So you don't really pay that much attention to it, to be honest with you. Whether you're doing events or questing or nightmare dungeons, regular dungeons, Helltide events, it's all the same. All the mechanics are the same. Everything is shared. There just might be more mechanics or more deadly things you need to stay away from on the ground, which is kind of boils down to everything for Diablo 4, to be honest with you. The only thing that really sits in contrast to this is world bosses. They're the really unique thing that's in Diablo 4, and as somebody that works a full-time job, I'm never online to kill them. When looking at the world bosses, we can see that they obviously took some inspiration from Lost Ark. However, one of the things that they really should have done is actually took more inspiration from Lost Ark, especially in dungeon design. One of the things that I really enjoyed about playing Lost Ark was the fact that the bosses at the end of those dungeons always had very unique mechanics, very unique encounters, and it just made for far more engaging gameplay. I think doing something to differentiate dungeons from the rest of the game will make a lot of the game overall just feel a lot better in general. Obviously, when we're doing things in the open world, we imagine a lot of that stuff is going to feel the same, so I'm not really bothered by a lot of that. However, when dungeons also feel like the overworld, just in more cramped spaces, it just doesn't feel that good the more and more you do it. The only reason I end up doing all my nightmare dungeons is specifically because I want to level up my glyphs. However, if I wanted to just kill monsters, I would just rather go do that in the open world. Now, one of the other criticisms that I've seen come up quite a lot is the game not having an overlay map, and to be honest with you, I could just care less at this point. When I'm in the overworld, I drop a waypoint, I follow my GPS, I go to where I need to go, and that's it. When I'm in a dungeon, after you've done enough of them, you just kind of know how to traverse them. Nothing really makes you guess that much. There are some that are a little bit more intricate than others, and yeah, I have to pop up my map once or twice, or maybe 3 or 4 times at most. However, it's never really been that big of an issue for me. So, in my opinion, I would much rather them focus on some of the things that I've talked about earlier in this video than that. I don't really want them to focus on some of these like not really necessary quality of life things like an overlay map. I'd rather them focus on things that are far more core to the game, the gameplay, and how the game feels overall. Now, one of the other things that I'd like to talk about is the fact that seasons are apparently going to be coming up in July. After engaging with a lot of the open world systems that they've added into Diablo, I found myself really dreading the idea of a new season starting in a blank slate world. There are far too many statues of Lilith, there's far too many things to do for renown, and they need to either simplify it or make mechanics where a lot of that stuff can be done in a breeze. The problem is that nobody's going to want to take the time to have to go and explore the entire world again or bring up a map and go and click every single statue of Lilith all over again every single season. If anything, if you want to keep them in the game, that is fine, and I understand that you want to keep them in there. However, what I would probably do is I would cut down the amount needed for you to be able to get the skill points or whatever else you need, the permanent upgrades that are necessary for you to be able to, well, feel more powerful in the game and be more effective of a hero. So I'm going to go ahead and levy one of my own complaints on top of everybody else's. I guess it's not really all that original because other people have also brought it up as well, but mounts, they suck. They really feel like shit to ride. Whether you're getting stuck on something or whether for some odd reason the horse doesn't actually want to like speed up for some reason, or you get hung up on a bridge or whatever it might be, they just don't feel very good. They don't feel very finely tuned to ride. And it sucks because they're actually also the coolest thing in the game because you can actually find rare mount skins. And that's the thing that they really need to focus in on for the future of Diablo, is having more things like that that we can discover and find in the world, these rare and difficult items to find that just make you feel more rewarded as a player. And as it stands right now, the only thing I feel like we're all chasing is that level 100 boss at the end. And to be honest with you, that's not a good enough carrot for the end of the stick. There needs to be other things. There needs to be better uniques, more impactful uniques. There needs to be stronger weapons, and there needs to be more mount skins and maybe even player skins or different things like that that we can find. Difficult to find collectibles and stuff like that. That's the things that we need because that's what we actually want. We don't care about numbers. We want to look cool. We want to feel cool. That's the whole point of playing an ARPG in the first place, especially one that's a social one that's an MMO light. I want other people to look at me and like, damn, where'd he get that? And no, it didn't come from the store, because ain't nobody buying that $25, $35 shit. Y'all crazy. I'm almost happy that they've made all the prices in the store so high, because it's like nobody's gonna buy that stuff. And even if they do, most of the stuff in the game looks better than it anyway. Don't take this as advice, by the way, Blizzard. Just keep it like that. That's the way we like it. Let the whales go ahead and spend $35 to have a golden mask that looks like shit.
Sauron the Great bids thee welcome.
So we've talked about all the things that I and other content creators have found that they don't really necessarily like about the game. And to be honest with you, it doesn't really bother me that much. None of it does. I'm still enjoying Diablo 4. It's still a great game to play. It's still worth every dollar that I spend on it. I am absolutely enjoying the game. And one of the things that I think that makes me not really care that much is the fact that I know a lot of this stuff probably isn't going to matter in the next month or 2 or 3, because this team, this Diablo team, is very in tune with the players. They're listening to every single thing we have. They're retweeting and tweeting and all that good stuff every 5 seconds, anytime they get the opportunity to, addressing players' needs. They are listening to us. They know what we want, and they're hearing it, and they're going to end up fixing it. I think the best part about Diablo is that the minute that we got our hands on it, we knew that they already had an incredible foundation. The amount of game that's already here and already available for us is incredible. And once they start building on it, and once they start adding to it, and once we get like to the point of, say, PoE, where years have gone by and all these different things have been added to the game, it is going to be damn near unrecognizable from what it is today. So let's just enjoy the ride for now. Keep voicing our concerns. Let people know what we want and what we want changed. Make sure that you're also trying to support the content creators that speak the voice that you want spoken. Sometimes there's the guys that are out there that have different opinions that don't necessarily really reflect the average player. The average player's concerns aren't the same as the concerns of the guy that plays it for a living, because, well, they engage with it far more than we do. And to be honest with you, they're not the ones the game should be made for. Now, in some cases, they can be the mining canary, the one that ends up sending the warning signal to everybody else, letting them know that there's something else that's wrong with the game that needs to be fixed, but that's not always the case. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, there's more content on this channel, plenty of videos, actually, a lot of videos on Diablo. I stream on Twitch every day I get off of work for about 2 or 3 hours, longer on the weekends. And then there's also a podcast on the channel. We do it every Sunday at 2 p.m. PST. We talk about all kinds of games, RPGs, everything you can just, well, anything you think about. We also talk a lot about Diablo. We'll probably still continue to talk a lot about Diablo. So, yeah. Anyway, stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in Sanctuary.